So, Danny, Jason Sanders, it seems like we've asked about him a lot recently. How has he been hitting the ball overall? He said today he thought he's been hitting it well, but what are your thoughts on
No,
that?
I'm in the same boat, pulling on the same oars as Jason. If again, we talked about this a week ago or 2 weeks ago. I see every single kick he hits throughout the course of the week in practice and warm ups. So, my perspective on how he's hitting the ball is maybe a little bit different. But again, it only matters what you do in the game. So, we got work to do, and we'll get that cleaned up. And I have zero doubts that Jason will get that cleaned up.
Are kickers any different than any other player as far as their mentality and the pressure that they're under? I mean, Jason obviously wouldn't have as many snaps as, say, Xavier Howard on the field. Is that good or bad, or does it matter?
I don't think it matters. Jason knows the job he has. The opportunities you can't count on. You don't know when they're going to come. You don't know how they're going to come. Whether it's kickoffs, whether it's PATs, whether it's field goals. You always got to be ready. So that is what it is. Jason's been a very good kicker in this league, and I have no doubt that he'll get back to that. You look around the league. It's the last couple of weeks. I'm a big believer in the kickers to the National Football League, but the last couple of weeks there's been lots of kicks missed that you maybe wouldn't think would be missed, but that's part of it. If it was easy, everybody would be doing it. You guys wouldn't be sitting there. You guys would be out on the field.
Not us, but
We'd be, for example, I want to ask you about how Cedric has done as a returner. Is that something that you see a potential growth in that you want to continue down that road? Cedric Wilson.
Well, I think Cedric's gotten better just because he's done it. When you look at his, before he got here, very limited, reps in his career, and then, very limited reps since he's been here. But every week he's gotten more opportunities. Some opportunities in the game that have come up. We've had an opportunity to possibly return the ball and/or return it. So, happy with where he's at, happy with what he's doing, how he's working, and hopefully we can continue to build on that.
Mike McDaniel voiced his confidence in Jason. What do you think when you heard that? And is that consistent? It seems like it is, based on what you're saying, with your belief in Jason.
Yeah, it comes down to Jason. I know what my beliefs are. Mike's got his beliefs. Jason will get it right. Ask Jason. I believe in Jason.
Danny, not expecting you or asking you to criticize anybody, but in a late game situation where the score tied, where neither offense has moved the ball all game, would you not be inclined to punt the ball out of bounds instead of giving a returner a chance at a
yeah, there's a lot of things that go. There's so many things that go into that. Again, I'm not gonna. I wasn't in the stadium, and it wasn't my situation. Maybe based on what the wind was doing, maybe that was what they were trying. I don't know. So, yeah, that's never going to be where I chime in. There's thoughts, and I know what I would try to do, but again, maybe the elements keep you from doing that.
So as a general philosophy, you'd be tempted to punt out of bounds.
Well, not necessarily. I would try and make it very difficult for them to have a return. But again, if it was easy to do, everybody would do it.
Along the lines, you were asking about kickers and missing kicks, but on the flip side, I was watching the Cowboys game, and I think it's Brett Maher. He made 2 straight 60-yard field goals. Outside of more training at a young age for kickers, I mean, is there anything else that you can kind of attribute to? It seems like nowadays we are seeing kickers make those 50+ and 55+ yard field
Well,
goals.
I think that's the evolution of the position. I think, to your point, parents are pointing kids in one direction, and that direction, kicking being one of those alternatives as a possibility of gaining a college scholarship. And just players are stronger than they've ever been. The training that they do, the facilities, the balls. I mean, there's so many things that go into that. And then it's just the evolution of the game from a coaching standpoint. I mean, years ago, coaches would be scared to death if with the what if we miss and where are we giving them the ball and the things that follow that, where now you get more and more coaches that they're not, they're thinking of the positive and not the negative.
Go ahead, Chris.
Dan, how cool has it been to see, Thomas pull out that 0 punt celebration with Tua a couple times? Hasn't been too busy the last few weeks.
Well, you know what? I tell you what. And I, not to top it, but I top it with this. it's great to have 0 punts, but to have no turnovers on top of that, that's where you're really talking about good complementary football. To not turn the ball over and not have any punts, that's outstanding. But yeah, it's fun that they're enjoying it. And again, if we're not turning over and we're not punting, good things are going to be happening for the Miami Dolphins.
Couple more guys.
Danny, you guys had Jalen Waddle out there for a kickoff return. It was a touchback, but I'm wondering if guys have their own rules or their own leeway. Like if Jalen, if it's 4 yards deep, it's okay to bring it out, or does every guy have a number, or how does that work?
It varies on a lot of different things. The player, the time of the game, the score of the game. There's a lot of things that go into that.
Okay, so it's not
Yeah, no, absolutely not.